The dangers of the attack on Chidimma Adetshina when a legal dispute turned violent. Good day and welcome to Starjays Media. Do well to subscribe for free, like, comment, share for more news analysis. The confrontation involving Nigerian beauty queen Chidimma Adetshina outside a South African court raises a much bigger question than the immigration dispute itself. What happens to the rule of law when anger against an individual becomes physical violence? Adetshina is currently fighting a deportation case in South Africa. She has maintained that she was born in the country and has gone through the appropriate legal channels to challenge the authorities' position on an immigration and citizenship status.
That I once again have been able to get an opportunity to have my faith in our courts. And I remind everyone that I was born in South Africa. I have applied through the proper legal channels to have my status and citizenship determined. I believe that I have been treated unfairly and targeted, and there has been an attempt to make me as an example. But my message is not going to be one out of anger. South Africa is governed by the rule of law, and we should not allow xenophobia and misinformation to determine how people are going to be treated. We should all be guided by the spirit of Ubuntu. Throughout this ordeal, I have availed myself of all appropriate legal recourse, and I'll continue to respect and abide by each process.
The court has postponed the matter until 2027 while a related High Court review is considered. But after the court proceedings, tension reportedly escalated outside the courtroom, with protesters confronting Adetshina as she emerged. Reports say security personnel intervened and the situation became heated, and this is where the issue becomes dangerous.
Right now, a person who's got a country today is fighting our South African court. So this is what we are saying. Our courts really need to be looked at. Our justice system is really failing us in this country.
First danger, the erosion of the rule of law. The first and most obvious danger is the undermining of the justice system. Adetshina has chosen the court to challenge the deportation process, whether people agree with her position or not. That is precisely what the legal system is designed for. If the government believes she has no legal right to remain in South Africa, it has legal mechanism to pursue that position. If Adetshina believes she has been wrongly treated, she equally has the right to defend herself. The court, not an angry crowd, should determine the outcome. When protesters attempt to intimidate or physically confront someone because they disagree with that person's legal position, the message being sent is extremely dangerous. That justice can be determined on the street instead of the courtroom. And that principle can eventually hurt everyone, including people demanding Adetshina's deportation. Second danger, xenophobia and collective blame. The second danger is the possibility that a personal immigration dispute becomes an excuse for hostility toward Nigerians and other foreigners. Adetshina's case has already attracted strong anti-immigration protests. She herself has warned against allowing xenophobia and misinformation to influence how people are treated. This distinction is extremely important. A government has the right to enforce immigration laws. Citizens have the right to demand that immigration laws be respected, but neither of those rights gives individual permission to attack another person. A legal dispute involving one Nigerian must not become a justification for treating Nigerians as a group of enemies. That is how isolated dispute can grow into broader ethnic and national tension. Third danger, Nigeria-South Africa relations. There's also a diplomatic and social dimension. Nigeria and South Africa are two of Africa's most influential countries, but their relationship has periodically been damaged by accusations of xenophobia, attacks against foreigners, and tension involving Nigerian community in South Africa. An incident involving a prominent Nigerian woman being confronted on allegedly assaulted outside a South African court can easily become fuel for anger on both sides. Videos can spread across social media within minutes. A confrontation that begins outside a courtroom can quickly become a nationalistic argument online. South Africans against Nigerians, Nigerians against South Africans. That is a dangerous road. The responsible response should be to isolate alleged misconduct rather than blame an entire nationality. Fourth danger, normalizing mob justice. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect is the possibility of nationalizing mob justice. Once people begin believing that they can confront, threaten, or attack someone because they believe that person is guilty, the boundary protecting innocent people becomes very weak. Today, it may be an immigration dispute. Tomorrow, it could be a political disagreement. After that, it could be a religious, ethnic, or social disagreement. A society cannot function safely when accusation automatically becomes punishment. This is why security intervention outside the court is important. People involved in contentious cases need protection precisely because emotions can become intense. The courtroom must remain a place where opposing sides can argue without fearing physical retaliation. But there is another side. A critical analysis must also acknowledge that immigration laws matters. South Africa, like every sovereign country, has the right to determine who may enter, live, and remain within its territory. The authorities have presented their own case concerning Adetshina's immigration status, while our lawyers are challenging the government's position through the courts. The legal process is therefore still ongoing. Criticizing government's handling of immigration is legitimate. Demanding proper documentation is legitimate. Calling for the enforcement of immigration law is legitimate. Violence is not. That distinction must remain clear. The bigger lesson: the Chidimma Adetshina controversy should therefore not simply be viewed as a Nigeria versus South African story. It is test of something much bigger. Can a society disagree passionately without becoming violent? Adetshina supporters must allow the court to work. Our critics must allow the court to work. And the authorities must ensure that nobody is subjected to intimidation or violence simply because they are involved in a controversial legal case. The court has postponed the matter, meaning the dispute is far from over. That makes calm even more important. In conclusion, the real danger in the attack on Chidimma Adetshina is not only what happened to one woman outside the courtroom. The greater danger is what such an incident could represent if society begins to accept violence as a legitimate response to disagreement. If Adetshina is legally entitled to remain in South Africa, the court should establish that. If she is not legally entitled to remain, the authorities should follow the law and enforce the appropriate decision. But either way, the decision must come from the law, not from an angry crowd. South Africa has a long and painful history with discrimination and division. Nigeria has its own experience with communal tension and mob justice. Neither country benefits when these wounds are reopened. The strongest response to controversy is not violence, it is justice. And the strongest demonstration of justice is allowing law to take its course. What do you think? Was the confrontation outside the court simply an expression of public anger, or does it represent a dangerous escalation of xenophobia and mob justice? Let us know in the comment section. This is Starjays Media. Do not forget to subscribe for free, like, share for more news analysis.